Hey, this is Foster again from The Wall Comedy, and I'm back with another episode of the Local Guide to Berlin. Now, directly behind me is the Berliner Dome, but before I get into that, there's something that you'll probably notice. I'm dressed a bit differently today, and that is because it is a Friday. Friday, I do wear a Hawaiian shirt every single Friday, so you can just know whether it's a Friday or not. However, we are here on a touristy part of Berlin that I actually really recommend. It's called Museum Island, and I'm surrounded by people here. Everyone's taking photos, everyone's making videos of themselves, me included, to see a bunch of different historical stuff, a bunch of different really cool stuff. We're at a little park here with a fountain. You might be able to hear it. We've got a number of museums, but we also have the Berliner Dome, Berlin's biggest cathedral, and actually the biggest Protestant cathedral in Germany. Now what you're seeing behind me has actually been around since there's been a church or something of that nature since the 15th century. However, the iteration that you're looking at was finished around 1905. That being said, what you're seeing right now is very different from what was built in 1905. Yes, there was a very bleak history in the 1930s and 1940s where a Second World War happened, and part of it was destroyed. Not all of it was destroyed, but part of it. However, very of note, we are in formerly East Berlin, formerly East Germany, and if you have studied history, if you look at maps, you'll see that formerly East Germany was very non-religious. So if you look at maps today, you look at West Germany is still somewhat religious, still very Christian in terms of faith, and in terms of East Germany, very atheist, very not so much into the Christianity. What that means with the rebuilding of a church is that they didn't do, let's say, the best job they possibly could have. Actually brings me to the next point, and watch out, there's someone behind you. All good. This is one of the few cathedrals I have actually personally not been inside. The reason being is because they do charge tickets. So it's usually €9 to get inside. However, there are other events. Some are free, with like Sunday Mass, I believe is still free. It was last time I visited. And some are more expensive because they have concerts and other things. It's more than just a church though. This is also a tomb. I know that a lot of different churches have hundreds of people buried inside of it. This is no different. Another interesting fact that if you are visiting will mean absolutely nothing to you. But a lot of people wonder how a lot of the cathedrals in Germany are actually paid for. And that is whenever you live here or you move here, you have to fill out forms, and one of the questions is, what religion are you? If you put that you're Christian, you have to pay something called the church tax, and the money from the church tax actually goes to funding cathedrals such as this one. So a lot of times when people do move here, if you are thinking about moving here, and you're not sure if you want to pay the church tax, it's recommended that you don't put any religion down, but of course if you're Christian, you're going to use the church, you might as well put down that you are Christian and are going to use the church tax. Okay, the first of the 6 museums that we're going to look at today is the Alte Museum, also known in German as the Old Museum. It's not a tough translation, but you've learned it either way. And at the Old Museum, what would you expect they have? Old things. They have antiquities. They've mainly, since 1998, they have a bunch of Greek antiquities. I'm still confused what an antiquity completely is, to be perfectly honest, but we're going to link a description for what you can expect to see. The cool thing about this is there are 6 museums on the Museum Island, and a ticket gets you into all 6. You just have to pick the day that you want to come. It's €19 a ticket, and children get in for free, but you do need to be accompanied by an adult. Also, if you are old, you get in for half price. I think it's 65 and up, you get in for half price. This one is actually built by Friedrich, it says right there, and it was finished in 1830, so it's an old museum. And while it did originally show a lot of paintings, now it's more with statues and artifacts. I don't know if I can be more vague on that, but you see how often I come to these museums. I just realized I'm carrying a bunch of stuff right now. Not all of this is film equipment. Don't ask what it is. It's private. It's private. This is a place heavily visited by tourists as well. You're going to see a lot of tourist groups around here as well. Please let tours kind of do their own thing. Don't try to kind of hop onto them. People do usually pay for that. Also, please watch out for pickpockets anytime there's a lot of tourists gathered together. As long as you keep in your own space, you don't really have anything to worry about, but it is something to keep in mind. Behind me, you'll see actually another one of my favorite museums. We don't have time to go do a full tour of it today because we're trying to focus on the main museums for the island. However, the Deutsches Geschichtsmuseum, that's the German History Museum, I highly recommend. I've been there before. I brought multiple family members there before. It goes with history of Germany way back when. The most important parts I found were from the early 1900s up until through the Cold War. Contrast to what we just talked about with the German History Museum, right now I'm at the entrance of the Pergamon Museum. I've said it 3 times and I got it wrong every single time, and I apologize immensely for that. However, this is actually one of the few museums I've been inside of Museum Island, and it's so cool. It's walking through like a lot of ancient Greece recreations. It's got altars from ancient history as well, and it's like you're walking through history. It's not a super German thing, but it's when you're looking at history and you're visiting Berlin, you can visit more than just Berlin while here. You can visit ancient Greece, and we always forget about just how old a lot of this history goes back, and you're watching a recreation of that. I really do recommend it. It's included with a ticket. I would recommend this as one of the top ones for Museum Island ticket. I would actually come here first before going anywhere else. It's that cool. And another fact, this whole island was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1999, so you'll see signs like this around here saying to please treat it with respect. And behind me, you will see the Alte National Gallery. Now, if you are in the mood to go to a museum with paintings, neoclassical paintings, romantic era paintings, and sculptures, this is where you go see it. I'm gonna be honest with you, I knew that this was a painting place, but I don't know what any of the words I said before that mean. That's not a good thing because my aunt is an art teacher, and if she heard that I don't know what those things mean, she would get very upset. So, Fitzallen, if you're watching this, please skip that part. Now, you'll notice that there is a river right between us, so which means I'm still technically standing on Museum Island, but the last thing we're going to show you today isn't technically on the island, but just off the island, and that is the DDR Museum. DDR stands for Deutsche Demokratische Republik. That is the GDR in English. That is East Germany, colloquially. I recommend it because we're in East Berlin right now. If you want to see what life was like during East Germany, this is where you go to see it. You see the cars they drive. You see the places in vacation they went to. You see the different roles that men and women had in society. I've come here to this very museum, I think 3 times already. I don't know the ticket price off the top of my head. We will put a link to the tickets and the museum in the description of this video. But seriously, if you can make it to that museum, please do. Thank you very much for watching our video. I have been, and still technically am, Foster from The Wall. Quick reminder, if you're ever in Berlin and you want to have a laugh, please come to The Wall Comedy. Please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel, and we love you for it. Thank you very much again. Take care. I didn't mean take care. I meant see you next time, but I think you know what I meant. So thank you, take care, and see you next time.